What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including did Tony Khan spoil CM Punk's debut in AEW? CM Punk answers the fans about an AEW appearance. A fired superstar calls out Miro. A WWE legend has been hospitalized. A WWE superstar is pregnant, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's do the intro and get straight into our first story. Now, first story looks at whether Tony Khan spoiled CM Punk's debut in AEW. Now, topping our news is the latest talk about what seems to be CM Punk's inevitable arrival in AEW. Now, while nothing has been 100% confirmed, AEW President Tony Khan dropped a huge hint about AEW's new show Rampage, which debuts on August 13th at 10 PM on TNT, and what viewers could expect in week 2. It's going to be a huge card, and tonight we'll establish more of what's coming on the premiere of Rampage. Of course, I think everyone knows what to expect on the second episode of Rampage, which is titled The First Dance, and I expect the anticipation will continue to build. Now, as we've commented before, Punk's signing with AEW is one of wrestling's worst kept secrets, which is exactly what Tony Khan wants, so fans will tune in not only to Rampage but to Dynamite. As you might expect, AEW's game plan is not only to draw in new viewers, but give its existing fans additional reasons to continue watching throughout the year, even as sports programming competes with it. While AEW is counting on Punk's arrival, as well as that of Daniel Bryan to help Rampage, AEW's second cable television show shouldn't be seen as a slam dunk. Some critics question whether the program will be viewed as a B show, thus generating less interest than Dynamite, while others point to it airing at 10 PM after SmackDown, with the theory being fans may not want to watch an extra hour of wrestling. Finally, there are concerns that the 18 to 49 demographic might not be at home to watch the show. These are all valid points, but AEW has somehow managed to defy conventional wisdom in some areas, and Rampage's success, or failure, should make for some fascinating talk and analysis. Next up, CM Punk trolls fans about his AEW appearance. Speaking of Punk, Wrestling Straight Edge Superstar recently appeared on the Sunday night's main event show, addressing Darby Allin's recent comments on Dynamite that he wants to face the best in the world. Many people thought Darby was referring to Punk, given Punk's nickname, well, the best in the world. However, Punk said he's not so sure. Best in the world? That could be anybody. That's Daniel Bryan, right? That's my assumption. I hear best in the world, I think Bryan. Punk went on to praise Darby's work, saying, "I think Darby Allin is great. Everybody in the wrestling world needs to never do a dive again because you can't do it better than Darby. If you watch Darby wrestle, it looks like he's trying to murder somebody. It doesn't get any better than that. Stop doing dives, everybody." You may recall an earlier report of an online betting site listing Darby Allin tying Daniel Bryan as Punk's most likely opponent. But Punk also talked about his original conversation with Tony Khan when AEW was still being developed. "Yeah, I talked to Tony. My perspective on this, and I said this to Tony to his face. I'm the guy who has constantly heard, 'Hey, I got a money guy. Hey, I got TV.' I've heard that at least once or twice a year for 15 to 20 years of my wrestling career. I've gotten bounce checks from those gentlemen. You watched it happen, especially after ECW folded. It was everybody was restarting ECW. Everybody was going to use the ECW guys." According to Punk, it seemed like everyone wanted to start a new wrestling company, but they failed to have the resources to start it. But that wasn't the only problem. It almost seems like somebody, we're going to start up a startup and we're going to compete with Vince. I always thought that came from a bad spot, because if you want to start a pro wrestling company, I think you should always focus on yourself. So I more or less took a wait and see approach. I wasn't, nor am I interested in pro wrestling in that aspect. While Tony Khan has the backing of billionaire father Shahid Khan, he's worked hard to make the company profitable and more than just a wrestling company run by a money mark. Punk maintained his habit of keeping his tongue planted firmly in cheek when asked when his plans are for the 20th August episode of Rampage at Chicago's Union Center. Punk answered, when was that? Let me look at my calendar. When did you say it was the 20th? I think I actually might be doing a screening, but this isn't confirmed yet, so I probably shouldn't blast this out everywhere, but we're talking about doing a screening of episode 3 of Heels at the AMC Theater in Chicago, and that's one of the dates that's been proposed. So, yeah, hope to see everybody there. Well, at least he confirmed he'll be in Chicago. But you think Punk is trolling? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a fired WWE Superstar calls out Miro. Current TNT champion Miro has been unstoppable since destroying Darby Allin to capture the title, but a recently released WWE Superstar seems ready to take on the AEW Strongman. Bronson Reed recently tweeted, "Grinding and violence every match, every moment is reality, of course. The former Bronson Reed's tweet is an acrostic where the letter of each word spells out something, in this case, give me Miro. Wrestling News' Paul Davis notes that Reed is under a 30-day non-compete clause, which means he wouldn't have to wait long to show up in AEW, should the promotion actually want him there. Reed's size and strength could make him a good opponent for Miro, but he wouldn't be the first muscle man to fail in his bid to defeat him. Would you guys like to see Reed vs Miro in a match in AEW? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a WWE legend has been hospitalized. A bad news for Brian Knobbs, as one half of the popular 90s tag team The Nasty Boys, the other member being Jerry Sags, has been taken to hospital for major stomach issues. Wrestling News' Paul Davis reports Knobbs' friend Fred Young says Knobbs' doctor expressed concern for his health and he's undergoing a battery of tests to figure out what's going on. Knobbs discussed his waning health during an interview last year when he spoke with Sean Mooney's podcast, saying, "Everything is catching up to me. I turned 57 this year. My body is all beaten up and broken down. Sags got hurt in 97, I think. I went on by myself. That 2 years in WCW Hardcore, going through tables, wrestling Fit Finlay, Bam Bam Bigelow, Haku every night where we're hitting ourselves with old tables from the building, that really took a toll on my body, which I didn't know at the time." Judging from Knobbs' account, he's lucky to be alive. "Now after all these years, I'm beat up. I can honestly tell you 35 years in the business, it's taken a toll. Now I'm type 2 diabetic. My foot got infected, it went up to my knee and they had to do an operation on my foot. They gave me a new knee because my knee was totally infected. It was hell. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks and then rehab for 4 weeks. I want to thank people who contributed to my GoFundMe." Now that GoFundMe link is in the description down below, so if you feel like donating, please do. Next up, a WWE Superstar announces she's pregnant. Congratulations to Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae on the announcement of their new addition. Johnny tweeted out, "The secret's out, our team is getting a little bigger, the best is on the way." Gargano and LeRae have been married since 2016 and are currently performing in NXT. The new arrival is expected for February of 2022. And finally, the legend of Black John Cena. And last but not least, the legend of Black John Cena continues to grow as more people take notice of the incredible resemblance between 24-year-old bodybuilder Brendan Corbina and John Cena. In fact, Cena himself took time to post a picture of Corbina on Instagram, which is likely to bring in even more hits for him. Cena isn't the only WWE superstar who's gone in on the fun, as perpetual 24/7 champion R-Truth tweeted a photo of Corbina along with a video of Truth playing John Cena. Truth captioned his tweet, "Blacker John Cena is trending, huh?" Do you see a resemblance between Corbina and Cena? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.